On today's show, Anthony Davis' injury and the Mavs' loss on Christmas Day means that they're left with the exact same problem they've had this whole season.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
I think that's a good question.
Good morning, Isaac. All these changes, I still got my dog Dwight Powell.
Your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like back.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Thanks for being in every day and making Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day. Making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network out there. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. We'll talk about Cooper Flagg's game, talk about Brandon Williams, the Mavericks losing, why they lost to the Warriors in this one. We'll get into all that, but we got to start here because Anthony Davis leaves the game for the Dallas Mavericks in the middle of the second quarter, 8:50 mark. He kind of gets mixed up with Steph Curry and Naji Marshall as they come over and double team him. Naji Marshall then gets the steal. They start running in a fast break. Anthony Davis turns around and starts running towards the other end of the floor in transition. And then all of a sudden he grabs his groin, grabs his right leg in a kind of weird way. And immediately I thought, oh my gosh, the adductor that he dealt with last season. But he doesn't even finish getting down the floor. He immediately goes straight to the bench. Straight to the bench, sits down, looks up while play is happening. And Naji Marshall throws the ball to him because he had an advantage in fast break. And you go, what is happening? Like, what is going on right now? He gets some medical attention from the trainers. He ends up going to the locker room. He leaves the game. He never comes back. The Mavs are calling it groin spasms, an interesting term. I've got to do this again, and we're just gonna keep doing this.
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
But this is the same question the Mavericks have dealt with since getting Anthony Davis, and since Cooper Flagg has come into the picture. The future is now for the Dallas Mavericks. The future is what is ahead. Look how good Cooper Flagg was in this game. Look how good he's been the last couple of weeks. And yes, playing next to Anthony Davis has helped him, I think. Playing next to Anthony Davis has made life easier for him when Anthony Davis is playing. But that's right now. That's this season. Think about next season, the season after that, when the Mavs don't have a pick. How are they going to get talent around him? How are they going to get talent around Cooper Flagg going forward? Is Anthony Davis the answer for the Mavericks for the next 3 years, 2 years? Is he the answer for the Mavericks this season? Because he has not played over 5 straight games for the Mavericks yet. Cooper Flagg has played more games for the Dallas Mavericks than Anthony Davis has. And it's just this frustrating thing where we go back and forth, and I get so frustrated watching Anthony Davis when he plays well, because you go, all right, here we go. This is it. This is the top 10, top 15 player that I thought the Mavericks were going to get, that I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt all offseason because, yes, the Luka trade was awful. Yes, all that. But Anthony Davis is a really good player. And the Mavs, Anthony Davis, when he plays really well, you see part of the V word. You see part of the foresight that the former GM had. I banned the word. I banned the V word. I'm not using it. I'm not using it on this show anymore. I'm going to catch myself. But then he goes out with an injury and we're just stuck on this hamster wheel. And the Mavs have to answer the question is, how long do you want to do this? That's the question they got to answer, because not only is it just this season, but you cannot sign Anthony Davis to an extension. You just cannot, especially the max one. And I think the more he goes out with injuries, the more the Mavericks have leverage in that situation, because I've been of the opinion this whole time throughout this whole process of, will they trade Anthony Davis? Should they trade Anthony Davis? What are they going to do? Blah, blah, blah. I've been under the impression man, Anthony Davis's agents are Clutch Sports, which is LeBron's kind of not really agency. Rich Paul, his agent. And you don't mess with a big agency like that. You don't mess with another. You see what happens when the Mavs messed with Luka and Bill Duffy's agency. We'll see what happens with that going forward and what kind of backlash that has. You mess with an agency like that, they have a lot of power in the NBA. And Anthony Davis' camp can make it really tough. You see what happened with the Timberwolves. You see what happened with the Sixers and the Heat with Jimmy Butler, right? Just left in a tough situation where you go, man, he just made it really hard on this team to try and move forward. They're stuck in this weird nebulous of the player doesn't want to be here. How do we move on? All that. And Anthony Davis's agency could make that really hard if they don't give him an extension. If you're going to keep him, you got to kind of commit to him, right? And how much money is he going to want? How much money should he get? All that. And we'll play the game like, oh, they're just bidding against themselves. Who else is going to sign Anthony Davis? He's not a free agent, so why give him this big extension? Just don't pay him. And I've been under the impression that you just kind of have to. You got to play the game with these agents. But now, the more he goes out like this, and we don't know how long it's going to be. Again,
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not going to try to pretend like I know how long groin spasms are going to keep him out. The problem is, something like this happens every 2 or 3 weeks with him. It's another injury. He's had 3 major injuries since he's been with the Dallas Mavericks. The adductor injury that he had when he got traded to the Mavericks. The retina thing that made him get surgery over the offseason so that he couldn't come in shape. And then this calf injury, and now a groin something. The adductor and groin, like it's all kind of that area, but they're different injuries. So now maybe this is the 4th one. I don't know if I would call this a major injury, but he did leave a game and didn't come back. And Anthony Davis has fought through injuries through the season. He's done well with all that, but man, you're still just riding this same hamster wheel over and over again. All right, Anthony Davis is back. All right, he's ramping up. Well, let's give him a minute to come back from injury before that he looks like an all-star player again. Okay, Anthony Davis is looking like an all-star player again. Everybody was so high, or so many people were so high on Anthony Davis after the last 2 games, including myself. I tried to ban Isaac from talking about trading Anthony Davis because I was like, hey, let's just enjoy the good play that we've seen from him. And Isaac still kind of went into that cycle again. But it's because the Mavs are stuck in this weird, like, they have Anthony Davis, who's a win now player. They have Cooper Flagg, who is kind of helping you win now, but his future is what is for the Dallas Mavericks. His future is the Dallas Mavericks. And how long do you want to do this with Anthony Davis? And with him if this is a long-term injury or anything like that, Mavs may not get to make that choice now. Man, it's just frustrating to watch this and to go through. All right, here we go again. It's like the Kristaps Porzingis thing, where he gets hurt, he's out, then he comes back, but he's ramping up, but then he comes back, and then you're like, all right, give him a minute to get back in rhythm, and how long can we just do this over and over again? But they're gonna keep doing it, I guess. I don't even want to keep talking about this anymore because it's so frustrating. And I'll wait till I make any bold statements or anything like that until we actually know what the injury is. But I think the main takeaway from this whole thing is that I'm just frustrated in watching this over and over again. I'm frustrated in watching this whole cycle happen over again. And maybe he'll play in the next game. Maybe he'll come back and all of a sudden it'll be Saturday, and we'll be like, oh, he's playing against the Kings. Okay. Oh, he's playing on Monday against the Blazers. Or maybe he misses the road trip, but he comes back on next Thursday and plays against the Sixers. That might happen, but how long are we going to do this? Right? That's the question to me, because I want off the ride. I do. I've enjoyed watching him play at times. I do want to still see him. I want to see him and Kyrie Irving play together, but I don't want to see them play together so much to the point where I don't want to put the franchise's future first and say, all right, well, if they get a decent enough deal, let's just get off this and move forward. If they can get some picks, that'd be amazing. Let's get some picks and move on. That's what I think the Mavs should do. Coming up, the Mavs in this Christmas Day game had to play on without Anthony Davis. And Cooper Flagg, he sure did play on. We'll talk about him, how good he played, and all that coming up. Locked On Mavs continues. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by our friends over at Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your predictions or your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but I never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator, play-by-play. You decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps involving trading involving significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchants and swap firm.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Got me all frustrated. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, listening every single day. That's what we call our listeners, our Raccoon Squad. Appreciate you for checking out the show. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to everybody that's listening right now. Hopefully your Christmas went better than the Mavs game today. This is a frustrating one, but we got to see Cooper Flagg again. And every time you get to see Cooper Flagg play the way that he did, that's a win. That's a big dub because 27 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, 13 of 21 from the field. 27 points was a game high for everybody. More than Steph Curry, more than Jimmy Butler, more than Al Horford, who couldn't miss a 3 in the first quarter. Cooper Flagg is him. He's 19 and 5 days old. He was getting the bucket whenever he wanted to. You could see like him working out in real time how to attack mismatches. You saw multiple times him try and take Brandon Podziemski either off the dribble or shoot over the top of him. And one of the things I've been frustrated about with this Mavericks team is how there's so many times when Cooper Flagg doesn't touch the ball for like stretches and stretches of the game. And he did look tired at the end of the game. The fatigue has been kind of an issue. We're getting to the point where maybe he's going to hit like a rookie wall or something like that. It took 21 shots. It's not normal for a rookie to take this many shots on a team that is in this many games, right? That's why he's leading in so many. Well, he's going to be close to the rookie record for clutch points because the Mavs have been in so many of these games and they've been in late. And so the burden on him has been pretty high. But then there are still times where you're like, man, the Mavs' best chance at offense is to give Cooper Flagg the ball and make him do something. So you're kind of caught between the rock and the hard place with that. All right, you got to give the ball to Cooper Flagg because he's the best option for offense. But then you don't want to give him the ball too much to the point where you're just running him into the ground. A 19-year-old that just turned 19 and is still trying to figure out how to deal with the NBA like grind of day to day to day. Like what? The Mavericks have played, what is that, 31, 32 games now? Almost played a whole college season in like 3 months. Wild. But I thought he was great. You just see it over and over again. First quarter, he only takes 2 shots, gets 3 rebounds, and that's it. And so you go, man, the Mavs they're starting off slow. They're down 40-28. That's brutal. They've got to do something to get him involved. And then Anthony Davis goes out at the 8:50 mark of the second quarter, and I saw Flagg literally in real time take over. This has also been kind of an interesting thing where the last couple of games, we've seen Cooper Flagg take over while Anthony Davis is in the game. And that's been a big, huge development, I think, that we haven't really talked about enough. Because the first part of the season, when Anthony Davis was playing, Cooper Flagg was still kind of tentative, trying to figure out where his spot is. All right, you're the all-star, you're the all-NBA guy, you're the NBA champion, all that. Let me figure out where my spot is. But as soon as Anthony Davis went out, even in the beginning of the season, we saw Cooper Flagg come in and take over. All right, this is it. I've got it. I've got to come in and get my shots. I've got to come in and get buckets. Because if I don't get buckets, where else is the offense going to go? That happened again in this game. Like this game was an interesting example of that, where he goes out with Anthony Davis goes out in the middle of the second quarter, and then Cooper Flagg checks into the game, and all of a sudden, drive floater against Butler hits it. Cooper Flagg drive into a post right hook against Trace Jackson Davis in the post. Cooper Flagg posts up Brandon Podziemski from the 3-point line, spin, finish, layup. Cooper Flagg pull up jumper against another Brandon Podziemski switch. Like just bucket after bucket after bucket where you go, all right, here we go. Like this is Cooper Flagg taking over. And that was the Mavs' best. That's the Mavs' best version of the offense because this is a star level player showing us what he's got. There's a difference between a player that can score. I've given this example before, but like Grayson Allen has scored 40 points in an NBA game this season. It's just drilled a bunch of threes. There's guys every once in a while where you'll see them go off like, man, that guy had 30. Oh man, that guy had, remember the Alec Peters game for years ago? That's a deep cut for listeners. But there's a game that a Suns guy named Alec Peters had like 30 points in a game. NBA players, you can score 30 if you want. The problem is being able to do it night after night and doing it when the defense is ready for you. Cooper Flagg did this and the defense was ready for him, or at least expecting and anticipating him to get into some of these shots, to get into some of these motions. You don't think they have a scouting report already on Cooper Flagg and what he's capable of doing? Backing up on him, letting him take the 3, but he's not buying any of that bait. He'll back you down. He'll drive into that little floater. That little drive into a spot and pull up into either a floater or like a little jump shot that's star level stuff. You look at all his shots. He took 2 threes on the left side, made the one on the right side, Then he took 4 jumpers outside of the paint, basically. One of them is on the block, so it's essentially in the paint. 4 jumpers outside of the paint. Made 2 of them. One a little mid-range shot from the free throw line. One of them a miss from the left wing. 2 of them in almost the exact same spot on the right elbow. Takes these jumpers. And the rest of them are all around the rim or like in that 10 to 15 foot range. He gets to that spot. He finds a way to get there. Turn around, little jumper, little floater. That has become such a go-to move for him that if he gets a mismatch, like a couple of those possessions I talked about where he's going against Brandon Podziemski, where Brandon Podziemski is, a smaller. He's not a guard. He's not a wing. I guess he's more of a guard, but he's a smaller player, 6'4", 6'5", and he gets set up where he gets screened, and all of a sudden now he's switched on to Cooper Flagg, and Cooper Flagg goes, all right, cool. Got a smaller guy on him. I'm 6'9". I'm going to go get to my spot, turn around, pull up over the top. And we see Dirk do this all the time. Last night, I was sitting watching some Dirk highlights, and you just saw him. Anytime he had an advantage where there was a guard stepping out to guard him, he turned around, did a little fadeaway jumper, even like a small wing against Dirk because Dirk was 7 feet. But anytime a small wing would be against him, he's like, all right, I'm going to turn around, do my little patented one-legged fade. And Cooper Flagg is already kind of recognizing the mismatch and like, I'm going to attack it. This is the best option for us to get offense right now, is for me to turn around and to hit a jumper over this guy. And for him to be able to get that shot, hit that shot, and make the Mavericks offense move like that, this is star level stuff we're talking about already for Cooper Flagg. 27 points on Christmas Day. Let's go. For all the frustration I had about the Anthony Davis injury, I'm that much more excited about what Cooper Flagg has done as of late. Because you look at his last stretch, and man, he is just putting together some awesome games. This game, Christmas Day against the Warriors, 27 points. He had the 33 points, 9 boards, 9 assists against the Nuggets in that win. He had 23 points, 10 rebounds in a win against Detroit in overtime that was awesome. He had the 40.7 rebound, 6 assist game against the Jazz. That was a loss. But man, he's had the 22.8 assist game in the win against Brooklyn. That was a clutch game, I believe, came down to it. I mean, he's put together some really, really good games lately. Just turned 19. This is the future right now. Right now, already here. The future for the Dallas Mavericks. All right, coming up. Mavs lose this game for a bunch of different reasons. Brandon Williams was pretty awesome. The Mavs have some other questions about some other players. I'm going to ask them coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by DoorDash. The season is heating up in the NBA. A lot of people say Christmas Day is the start of the NBA season for them. And so if you want to get in on some action, a lot of games all the time, you can watch them and you can get stuff delivered straight to you from DoorDash. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season more fun because every player has their bag. With DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked and your gear fresh and your watch party vibes absolutely on point. Those late night interviews, when they hit, suddenly you need some chips, you need something delivered at midnight. DoorDash is built for exactly that. I'm sure if you live in the DFW area, there's Dashers just dashing around all over the place. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever you need through the holiday season, delivered right to your door. DoorDash in your bag all season long. Also brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You get $20 off your first purchase, which is awesome. There's all kinds of things happening in DFW during the holidays, like all kinds of things. Like I bet if I go to Game Time right now and I start to look through all the things that are happening, you're just like, you scroll through and you go, all right, NBA games. There's Ohio State versus Michigan at the or against Miami at the Cotton Bowl happening at the end of December. Hockey games for the Stars. Lady Gaga coming in March. Those tickets are already up here. There's Stockyards, Rodeo. There's Supercross, like motocross, like the racing. Ed Sheeran coming. Elton John coming to DFW. Tons of things all the time happening. You can even get tickets to theater, Beauty and the Beast at Fair Park happening in December. All kinds of things. So go check it out on Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use this code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today and get in on the action with Game Time.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Isaac, let's get into this Mavs loss to the Warriors. Tough one. but they came out of the gate so slow. I mean, just so slow in this one. The three-point battle is something that the Mavs are just never going to win with this current roster the way that it's set up. You just don't have enough guys that take enough volume threes at all. And so first quarter, like just right away, Al Horford hits 4 threes. D'Anthony Melton hits a 3. Moses Moody hits a 3. It wasn't even Steph or Jimmy that were hurting you that bad. The role players hit multiple threes. They're 6 of 14 from 3. Mavs 1 of 2 from 3. Just the Warriors taking 14 threes. And I'm sure a couple of them rimming out. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but a couple of them rimming out long and them getting offensive rebounds. They had 4 offensive rebounds in the first quarter and had 11 second chance points off those. Oh my gosh. Just that happening in that first quarter, it was 40-28. And all of a sudden, this Mavs defense has not been good enough lately for them to get back into a game like this. Now, I think the Warriors kind of shut down a little bit. Their scoring went down every quarter, 40, 31, 29, 26. The Mavs did kind of get back in this game. It never ended up being a clutch game, but they kind of got back into it for a couple of reasons. But that 3-point disparity over the course of a game, Warriors only finished 14 of 15. That's not good. 28%. Like that's terrible. But the Mavs were 4 of 14. You only took 14 threes. Klay Thompson took 4. Brandon Williams took 1. Max Christie took 2. Ryan Nembhard took 1. Naji Marshall took 2. PJ Washington took 1. Cooper Flagg took 3. That's it. That's all the threes that were taken in the whole game. It's not enough. It's just not enough in an NBA offense. 3 is more than 2. And the Mavs hit 5 more field goals than the Warriors, I think. 49 to 48 for 44. Mavs hit 5 more field goals. They lose the game by double digits. After you made more shots than the other team. Wild. Now, the Warriors hit more free throws. That was a massive thing, too. But the Mavs, I think their big issue is it's a numbers game, and their defense has just not really shown up in a big way lately. That was a big calling card for them. Mavs had 118 defensive rating in this game, which is bad. That's below average. It's not awful, but it's below average. And their offense just wasn't good enough. And their offensive rebounding wasn't there at all either. Warriors got 13 offensive rebounds, turned that into 24 total second chance points. Bunch of reasons why they lost the game. Brandon Williams played just under 30 minutes, 26 points on 12 shots, incredible efficiency, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. He did his part there. The Mavs lost his minutes, though, by 17. I thought that was not a good sign. But Brandon Williams, I don't think he's been very good lately. Last 5-6 games, he's kind of been like, all right, I'm going to play hero ball. His game is basically, I have the ball, I'm faster than you, I'm going to get to the rim. And there's not a ton of kickouts. There's not a ton of creating for other guys off the dribble. He's definitely like a shoot first point guard. And so when he's not hitting or when he's not getting, separation from his defenders, all of a sudden you go, all right, I don't know how this is going to work. And it's not really affecting winning in any way. But in this game, he was able to get to the rim. As soon as him and Cooper Flagg realized they can get past their defender in front of them and there's no rim protection, you're not scared of Quentin Post back there. Draymond had the 5 fouls, so he was in and out of the lineup. Draymond only finished with 27 minutes. But Brandon Williams and Cooper Flagg could get to the rim when they wanted. And I think that was a big positive. And one of the reasons why the Mavs were even in this game at all, despite the disparity in free throws. Mavs got outscored by 10 on the free throw line, got outscored by 30 on the 3-point line, got outscored in the second chance points, got outscored in bench points too, 64-54. Like just across the board, it felt like they got outscored in so many different ways. I guess the only reason they were in the game is they made more field goals than the other team. Ugh, that was tough. But I thought Brandon Williams was a pretty good bright spot. And this is a good sign for him if he's able to have one of these games and move forward. Ryan Nembhard had some early fouls and Jason Kidd took him out of the game. He just played under 17 minutes. So Jason Kidd didn't want to go that well. Did not play D'Angelo Russell against his former team at all. He's just out. Like he's just done. The Mavs needed any kind of shooting, any kind of 3-point shooting, any kind of creation at all, honestly. Mavs had 18 assists on 49 made shots. That's bad. That's a bad ratio. The Warriors had 33 assists on 44 made field goals. Mavs were looking for any kind of shooting, any kind of creation at all. Jason Kidd didn't look D'Angelo Russell's way at all. And I don't think he was on the injury report. I didn't see him on there. That's just an interesting whole thing with him and with D'Angelo Russell and Jason Kidd. I don't know what, like there's no way We're doing the same thing again. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it again, where another player comes through the Dallas Mavericks ranks with Jason Kidd as the head coach, and I go, I don't understand. The Mavs need offense in any way possible. Why are they not playing Christian Wood? Why are they not playing this guy? Why are they not playing this guy? I bet every single year there's been a player where you could go, man, I can't believe the Mavs aren't playing this player, right? Just feels like we do this every single year. What was it? I guess last season. Last season, who was the player? Maybe it was Quentin Grimes, probably for me. Quentin Grimes was definitely a player that you're like, why are they not playing Quentin Grimes more? I don't get it. Why are they not putting him out there? That was probably last year. Year before that, who was the player where you're like, I just don't understand why they're not playing him more time? Year before last, there wasn't really one because the Mavs went to the finals. But then that year before that was Christian Wood. You're like, I just don't get it. Why are they not giving him any more time? Jason Kidd just decided he didn't like the player. Year before that, this was the year they traded Spencer Dinwiddie for Porzingis. Went to the Western Conference Finals, so there really wasn't a player like that. I guess at the beginning of that season, it was Reggie Bullock to start the year. Reggie Bullock wasn't getting any time, and that's where we got this drop from.
I have to apologize that you felt that he should have played more.
Felt like he should. I guess the player was Moses Brown for a lot of people, not for myself, but for a lot of Mavs fans. Were like, why don't we play Moses Brown more? He's the one that actually can rebound and can do the things the Mavs need. And he didn't get any time. But there seems to be, my whole point in this is there seems to be a player every single year that Mavs fans look at and go, why is that guy not getting any more time? And this year it's D'Angelo Russell. Literally not played at all in this game. Did not play a single second. And I don't think he was on the injury report. I looked at it before the game. Wild. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. Being part of the show. Check it out. The text line, the everydayers, everything like that. Thanks so much for listening to us and being here. We'll have another post game. I'm going to do another thing a little bit later today. I think about, it's been a year since we've seen Luka play for the Dallas Mavericks. So check all that stuff out. Guys, thanks for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.